right. It is 43 degrees out here. I don't like this. I guess I had my head under a rock. It is November, but I thought it was still warm. I had to go back inside and get a heavier coat and a scarf. Brad and I are heading to Lidl down south, which is also near my favorite Hobby Lobby. I asked him if he would be willing to go, and this is what he said. What did you say?
Why would you possibly need to go to Hobby Lobby yet again?
So I don't know if we're going to stop in there. I want to talk to you about the responses I've been getting to my last video. They are wonderful. They are kind. And I need to talk about that more in depth, about my predilection for seizing on negative comments and finding it hard to move forward. That's kind of a character flaw, actually. I know that Brad, and maybe men in general, Candace and my niece Kristen and I were talking about this, how men just filter the world differently from women. They just do. And they ignore detractors because they don't have time to stop and consider and weigh the implications. They're just like, forget it, ignore it, move on. So I need to do that. I do delete a lot of these complaints. So if you go back to look for them, they're probably gone. I did leave one argument up with a woman named Gloria, and we went 30 rounds, and then I just said, oh, come on, Gloria, let's just be friends. I don't know if she's ever come back, but at any rate, I do thank you from the bottom of my heart for your sweet, wonderful, hilarious, in some cases, replies. And we're going to look at some fabric. You better believe it. Right now, I've got to go and try and convince my husband to just stop into Hobby Lobby. What is the harm of stopping in?
Just to look, right?
Just to look.
Just take a look around, see what they might have.
You know what I'm saying, don't you?
Maybe there's a big sale.
There is a sale.
There's always a sale.
Okay, I love you all, and I'll be back, and we're going to look at fabric up close and personal. Bye for now. Hi, everyone. We're going to look at some fabric. This is a fabric haul, and I'm going to show you my Fall Nights candle from Aldi. I'm going to show you my apple pie at the end of this. So, to wrap up the problem of the negative comments, I'll keep this brief. But here's the thing. Sometimes they're character assassinations. And that can be a tad bit hard to get over. If it's something about sewing that somebody disagrees with, okay, that's one thing. But, oh boy. If someone says to you, as a 77-year-old woman said to me last time, that you're a friggin' drama queen in all caps, and that came from the October Makes video. And I just thought, I don't understand what this means, you know? Of course, Brad, ignore it, ignore it. No, I said, I'm gonna ask her. Because she had actually left the exact same comment, you are a friggin' drama queen in all caps on the previous video. So I said, hey, is this a compliment? She came back. A lot of times people will not come back. They'll leave an odd comment. I will try to engage. I never hear from them again. And sometimes people come back and take their own comments down. I had a woman who was so angry at me because I said that I wished the fabric or the pattern came with pockets. and she's like, well, do you get mad at an apple for not tasting like a banana? But anyway, this older woman came back and she said, no, it's not a compliment. It's not a compliment. I can't stand to watch your drama. It reminds me of a cheerleader, and it's just horrible. And so I figured, well, maybe she was bullied by a cheerleader. I don't know. I wished her, I said, I hope your life gets happier. And that seemed to make her even more angrier. And so at that point, I just cut it off and removed the comments. So sometimes, you know, it's not related to sewing, and it's so off base and it's so out of left field that it's a little hard for me to shrug it off. But that's what I need to do. We're gonna look at fabric. I pulled a lot of the prints because they're just, I think they're more fun to look at. This is what I made Colin's curtains out of. It is very, very light. You can see that it's sort of transparent, and it's got these palm trees, almost like photographs, like a digital photograph printed on this. And hi, Alice, if you're watching. Alice up at Fabric Mart, she's like, let's just roll this off the bolt and see what we've got. Well, we had 6 yards. She said, I'm only gonna charge you for 4 because you have to cut it off here to get them, you know, just right for the curtains. And it was 50 cents a yard. So I said to Brad, oh my gosh, this is like one of those dreaded math questions on an exam. If Betty purchased 6 yards of fabric at 50 cents a yard, but she was only charged for 4 yards, how much did Betty pay per yard? You know what I called it? I called it 40 cents a yard. But I have a lot left over. Look at this. I've got a lot left over, and I was thinking that I might do a kimono for myself. So that is just really pretty. They also had it in an orange colorway, but Colin thought the hot pink was a little more dramatic. And that's what I made his curtains out of. This next fabric looks very much like a sand-washed silk or a shantung. It is bright orange, and it is beautiful. It's got a little tiny bit of texture to it. It certainly doesn't have any stretch either way. So I brought it up to the counter at Fabric Mart, and I said, what is this? It was $1 a yard. And they were like, we don't really know. So Tiana, hi Tiana, she got out a lighter. She cut a little bit off, and she said, let's burn it. So she did the burn test. Now, I've never done the burn test, and the burn test will show you if a fabric is natural fiber or synthetic. And it has something to do with the afterburn and the amount of smoke. Well, anyway, she determined that this has, that's lint, that this has some natural fiber in it. She doesn't think it's silk. She thought it was probably cotton, like maybe a cotton poly blend. And I thought, for some reason, I thought this would make a beautiful kind of a formal long dress. So I bought the rest of the bolt at $1 a yard, and I think I got 6 yards. Now, some of these fabrics that I'm going to show you came from Fashion Fabrics Club. I love them. They had a 25% off sale, and their fabrics are all about $7 a yard, so 25% off is pretty good. Of course, I like those 60% off sales they do, but they haven't been doing them lately. This is a woven poly. This is the more accurate color back here, but I'll show it to you up close so that you can see the print. It is light, non-stretch, a little bit sheer, but opaque when you hold it up close to you. And I just thought that teal was so beautiful. This is another one from Fashion Fabrics Club. And I think I've mentioned before how their photos really tiny, and you just get a little tiny glimpse of what the fabric looks like. So I thought that this one looked pretty cool. It's got orange and a beautiful lighter navy blue and green in it predominantly. And it's just sort of an abstract print. Again, it is a poly woven. And I see some kind of dress or tunic. This is Fashion Fabrics Club. Look at that. Green and purple together. It is as soft as can be. And I'm saying that they're all poly wovens. They actually might have some rayon, a couple of these. This is super soft, just really pretty drape. There is the pattern up close. No texture, but very sumptuous. It has a beautiful hand. A fabric hand is how it literally feels in your hand. I mean, I'm making that up, but you know, if it drapes, if it's soft, if it is compelling to look at, if it clings, if it wrinkles, that all goes into what kind of hand it is. And again, I'm completely making that up. Okay, now we're back to Fabric Mart. This is a crushed velvet in a super pale pink. And you think crushed velvet, or I think crushed velvet, well, this one's really pretty. And it is as soft as can be. Nothing stiff about this. The other side is just sort of a plain woven. This is stretchy, and I'm gonna make a turtleneck. And Alice was making me laugh so hard because she kept saying, that's gonna be a sexy turtleneck. You'll be able to get anything out of him in that turtleneck. And it just made me laugh so hard. So when we were leaving, I said, hey, I gotta go home and sew my sexy turtleneck. Look at this. Oh, I love this. This is orange and pink. And if you can see, it is a jacquard, not sure of the pronunciation. It is a heavier fabric, almost like a tablecloth. It has a little bit of texture. It does not stretch. And it just speaks of quality. Had a little bit of black on the edge. This, I am tempted to say, was a Rosen and Chaddock fabric. It was $3.99 a yard, and it's beautiful. I think a dress. Then, when I was getting ready to leave, I thought, I'm gonna get one more thing. What should I get? Because I had a budget, and I was just under, and I thought I can get something else. And Alice came up with this, and she goes, look at this. This has dots on it, but it's a lining fabric. And you know what? It was so serendipitous because I needed lining fabric and I had forgotten to get any. So this was $1 a yard, and it's just a poly lining. It's got those cute little dots on it. And I want to make my wool coat. I don't know when, but I want to make my wool coat, and this will be the lining. You can hear it, it's smooth and slick. We're back to Fashion Fabrics Club. I thought this was gorgeous. This is a very pale purple with teal, and it looks like watercolors. Watercolors, maybe even a little bit like tie-dye. This is a rayon challis. Has a beautiful drape. And I love the colors. Fashion Fabrics Club, again, with a dramatic, large scale print in chartreuse with black. This is a poly woven, no stretch. I tend to love poly wovens. They make beautiful blouses and dresses, maybe not skirts because they're kind of light for that. Beautiful kimonos, tunics, beautiful. And that's a large scale print. Look at that, that's bigger than my head. Not sure what I'll do with that. The last two, you've already seen this one. This came from Mood. That was that stretch cotton sateen. This is a cotton voile that came from Fabric Mart. And cotton voile is extremely light, so it will be sheer when I open it up. And I loved these colors. Kind of fall colors. Burnt orange, interesting green, even some pale blue in there. Voile is good for dresses. It makes beautiful dresses. Some people like to line it because it is sheer. I'll wear a slip with mine. I ordered a book off Amazon about linings because I run the other way whenever a pattern says that it's lined. And I thought, okay, can't be scared any longer, so I'll show that to you when I get it. The title of it escapes me. This one I had fallen in love with as soon as it hit the Fabric Mart website a while back. And I sent a picture of it to Candace and I said, look how great this fabric is. And she was kind of slow in answering and said, Mom, it looks like scrubs. So I was like, what? And look at that, it's got stretch. It's so pretty. So I didn't buy any. And then when I was up there, I saw it on the shelf. I believe it was $3.99 a yard. And I bought 3 yards. And what I plan to do with this so that it does not look like scrubs, not that there's anything wrong with scrubs. I mean, scrubs are tunic and pants, but I know what she meant. I'm gonna make a shirt dress. I'm gonna make a shirt dress out of this and hope that it strikes just the right chord so that it does not look like I'm going, you know, to work at a hospital. That's all I have for you today. Now, you know I've got more fabric. Oh, there's always more fabric. I'm gonna go get that pie and show it to you, and I also wanna ask you this. What did you need to sew? I need to sew pants, and I need to sew a navy blue topper, be it a cardigan or maybe a duster. Yeah, maybe a duster. Something in navy blue. I keep reaching for one and I don't have one. And I definitely need to sew pants, and I need more tops. So basically I don't need to sew any more dresses, and I love sewing dresses. I have a dress cut out for Candace on the table. She and Mike are coming over tonight to watch UVA basketball. They'll be going up against JMU. They had their first game last week. A lot of new players. We lost some really good ones who went to the NBA. And by the way, I wanted to thank all of my well-wishers about the Nationals winning the World Series. We were absolutely ecstatic about that. So thanks everyone who remembered to mention that to me. Y'all are so thoughtful. All right, I'm gonna go get the pie and then I'll leave you for now on this chilly fall day. Hang on. This is an apple pie. I make my crust from scratch. I used 6 apples. 3 were Honeycrisp and 3 were Galas. So we will be having some apple pie tonight and watching basketball. I love simple pleasures, and I know you do too if you sew. So that's all from me. Thank you again for your sweet comments and all your support. And I'll be back with more fabric and maybe patterns soon. Bye.